Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to tonight's hangout. It's me, DeAnte, Michelle, and we have a special guest, Miss Ayanna Cross, who is a beast offline, um, just doing groups and stuff like that. We only have a short amount of time, so I'm going to jump right into it. Ayanna, say hi to the people.
Hey guys, hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm trying to refresh my computer screen so I can make sure you guys can see and hear me. Um, so if you can, definitely, sound off in the chat here. Let's see. Deontay, is your mic muted or no?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, cool. Um, all right, so again, my name is Ayana. Thank you so much for having me. Definitely want to go over some of the techniques that I'm using with email processing systems um, and on into it. If you guys are ready, definitely grab pen and paper. I'm going to go over a lot of information, and these are things that you can implement as early as like tonight. So if you guys have, started and you haven't made as much as you wanted to, or you haven't reached your goals, or you are not consistent with it, then I highly recommend that you guys um, really listen to what I'm saying and find your niche and start implementing these tips as soon as possible so that you can start earning the income that we market about. What I find very irritating online is seeing a lot of advertisements that say that you can earn $200-300 a day. However, that person is not earning that money yet because it's very hard to show someone how to do something that you haven't done yourself. So I'm very keen on keeping things simple and keeping them the truth. Okay, so if you're not earning, $200-300 a day, let's don't post it because then you kind of ruin it for everyone else. Um, because people want to see results, and so we'll get all into that. All right, so there's a couple of topics that I definitely want to go over. I do want to talk about what my process looks like, what my day looks like. Um, a little bit about me. I live in North Carolina. I work a full-time job, but I also run this business essentially full-time. I call it full-time with part-time hours. So I'm sorry, Deontay, you are so on my screen, and I feel like I'm just talking to you, so I'm going to move my screen over. All right, so I want to go over my process for the day. I'll show you my to-do list, or go over my to-do list, basically what I try to get in every day, and then I'll show you exactly how I'm able to do that. So my to-do list. Of course, I'm working from a webcam, so you can't really see my dry erase board here. But on my to-do list, it says post ads online and offline. As far as online is concerned, and I'm going to just tell you to pick one or two of these methods and master them before you try to add on other things. But as far as online marketing, I do Facebook, I do Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Craigslist, and I've just started marketing with Indeed and Monster.com. Um, Secondly, I respond to resume posts, emails, Instagram messages. Don't forget your DM box. So I'm responding to those things as well. And then I network. And I network with at least 10 people per day. And we'll talk about what networking really is and what it's not. And then I also attend 2 to 3 events monthly. So I do try to get outside of my home and market with people so that they can see that I'm a real person, and that they can kind of put a face to a name, when they do meet me, online. Um, I also make sure that I send emails to my list or to my team. I try not to send it to them every day unless we have something really going on, or if I'm having some sort of fire sale, and we'll use that term again. I record audio and video, so I try to do that at least twice a week. And then, of course, I post my ads offline. So I know it sounds like a lot, but also keep in mind that I do work a full-time job, and I'm going to show you how you can fit all of that in around your schedule. All right, so the first thing that I want to share with you guys is to keep your process very simple. When you first signed up, I'm pretty sure excitement was the reason why you signed up, right? Excitement, hearing stories or testimonials from other people that are currently in this program, and the fact that they're making money and they're achieving the goals that they set out. But aside from that, we had no idea what this was, right? Unless you have a sales background or marketing background, the email processing system is very, very new to you. And so when you share it with someone else, you want to make sure that you keep it as simple as possible for them, because they need to be able to duplicate the process. They need to be able to share it with someone else. And so someone sharing something that they absolutely have no idea of is very, very hard. That's where people just cannot get started, because they really don't know what they're sharing, right? When I look in the group and I see questions that are being asked, these questions are coming from the fact that we really don't know what we're doing, right? We really don't know what we're into. So you kind of have to know what it is that email processing is, or EPS. You need to know what it is before you can share it with someone else. So whenever someone joins me, I actually put them through kind of like a training process. I want them to study the information that's on that one pager, and also study the FAQs. You need to know the FAQs, or at least 5 or 6 of them, like the back of your hand, so that you can spit out that information. When people ask you questions, they want to make sure that you provide them with a confident answer. It can't be a response like, well, you can't start off like that. You cannot start off like, oh, well, if someone asks you, how much money have you made? Well, then I answer them, well, the amount of money that I've made really does not have any indication on how much money you're making, because you could probably have more time on your hands than I do. You kind of have to answer that question with a confidence, because people are really trying to make sure that they get the best leader out there. So you definitely want to make sure your process is simple. When you first sign up, if your site is not already up, you definitely want to reach out to the group to have your site set up, or if you want to build it yourself. But if you build it yourself, make sure that's something you can spit out quickly. You've built sites before. If not, just pay somebody to do it. Do not stress out about that. So your process is about 4 steps. You want to definitely get your site set up, get your payment system set up. You want to market, and you'll need to choose a couple of ways to market, whether that's going to be online, offline, word of mouth. And when I say word of mouth, that's calling people on the phone, that's sending out text messages, that's sending out emails to your warm market. And then having group meetings. Group meetings are my favorite, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about how to do that. Of course, you need to set up your goals. You need to have a goal, whether that be financial, whether that be a goal strategy on how to, choose which marketing techniques, a time goal. So you'll need to kind of set all of that up. And you'll also need to kind of know what people's pay periods are. Most people get paid on Friday, or they get paid on the 1st and the 15th of the month, or the 15th and the 30th. So keep those dates in mind, because people will have every excuse in the world until it's payday. So you definitely want to make sure that you're mindful of when people get paid so that you can drive your campaigns around that. You also want to simplify your sign-up process. I think someone asked me not too long ago, were there any other ways to get paid other than PayPal? And I said yes. I get paid, of course, through PayPal, but I also get paid by cash, credit, or debit. I use the Square app. My bag is over there. But I have a little Square dongle that fits on my tablet or my cell phone so that I'm able to run someone's card. PayPal also has the little dongle. It's called PayPal Here. So if you already have your PayPal account and it's established, then definitely look into getting that so that you can take in-person credit card payments. Okay, so I already said cash, credit, PayPal. Okay, so, oh, and also, if someone doesn't have a PayPal account, you can always accept cash from them, but then you want to direct them to either setting up a PayPal account with their current bank, or send them to CVS or Walgreens. I think Walgreens has them, but I know CVS does, and get a prepaid PayPal card. And the reason why you want to do that is because then they don't have to tie in their bank account or anything like that, so it kind of heads off the hesitation. Plus, if you already have a PayPal debit card, then every time they load that card, you get a percentage of it. Okay? So if you send someone to get a PayPal debit card, PayPal will put $10 into your PayPal account. So you definitely want to do that. PayPal debit card, the prepaid one, is beneficial because not only do they get paid for having one, and you do as well, but it's a way for them to transfer their money from their PayPal card onto a PayPal debit card, and they can separate it from their bank. I'll go over that again. So you definitely want to have multiple ways to sign up, right, for payments. You want to be able to accept PayPal. Of course, we use Payza, so we accept that. You want to be able to use cash, and cash is important when you're doing your group meetings. And of course, credit or debit cards. So you can either get the PayPal Here dongle, looks like a little triangle, or you can get the Square dongle. That's the one I use. And Square will deposit right into your PayPal account. So you definitely want to have those, and then get you a PayPal prepaid debit card. It's the blue one, not the gray one that comes with the business account. Okay. So if you get that PayPal debit card, you'll get it from Walgreens or CVS. And when you activate it, it gives you like an online link, and that's what you're going to share to your team. So when they sign up with you, you tell them to go ahead and get your PayPal card so that you can access your payments. You can do that immediately. So anyway, as soon as they get it and they load their card with either payments they've made through EPS, or if they activated the card themselves, then you'll get $10. So money comes from everywhere. Okay, so make sure you do that. And then of course follow up, right? Got to make yourself available. So you definitely want to set a time for you to be able to follow up with your new people. Also, you want to have like some sort of training or a way for them to ask questions. And then you want to have a marketing budget. So these are things that you definitely want to set up when you first get started. I know a lot of times people are like, all you have to do is set up your site and just go market. Well, if you set your person up that way, they're not going to be successful. This is a true business, so you have to manage this as a business, and so you have to make sure things are duplicatable for them. So you want to make sure all of these things are in order before before you get them started and get them started marketing. Do we have any questions on that? I'm trying to make sure that I keep watch on time, but I definitely want to go over this information because this is essentially your base. This is your ground floor. If you don't have this, this is going to be very hard for you to start marketing on a higher level if you don't have these things taken care of. So I'd love to open it up to questions. I can't tell if we have any immediate questions just yet. Um,
I'm looking inside the events hangout. Michelle, if you could check the group, um, I'm not seeing anything though.
okay, cool. But, like I said, those are really important things just to make sure that you have so that you set that up so you can be successful. All right, so let me go back to my little notepad. Okay, so of course, what everyone's here for is to find out how I'm marketing, right? I said that I do market online. I do Facebook marketing. I don't really do group marketing that much. I find that when you're in a huge group, um, it's very hard to get your voice out there because if you guys know Facebook, your links and your posts are not live or they don't get the right amount of viewership after about an hour and a half. Okay, so I post in groups, but not totally in groups, okay? I do use Instagram. I use Instagram along with hashtag marketing. So if you are familiar with what hashtag marketing is, it's basically where brand your you brand your post, right? So you might say something like, and of course I don't just, right now I'm just trying to remember, but all of my posts come from the booklet, right? The booklet that's in your EPS guide, that's where all my posts come from. Let me use this computer here because I can actually pull up an ad that I made the other day strictly from the booklet, right? So all I did was I I found a photo. I think I used one of the photos that DeAnte has in the file section. That's where I got the young lady's photo. I think it's like a purple background. So I used that photo, and my text just says, need a part-time job with full-time pay. And I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Looks like that. So it says, need a part-time job with full-time pay, work 4 to 6 hours a week, earn $400 to $600 per week by processing 4 to 6 emails per day. And essentially the 4 to 6 emails, 4 times 25 would be 100. So $100 a day would essentially bring you, $400 to $600 a week. And I always round up because I don't make it so calculated. Because some days you're not going to make any money. Some days you might make a huge amount of money. So I do that. And then, of course, I put in the email address, right? I see so many people put in their phone numbers. Stuff like that, but this is email processing. So in order for me to process the email, they have to send me an email. So I'll always put in an email address. And then I post it, right? So on Instagram, I make the photo, and then I or I use a hashtag. And I use hashtags like jobs, job seeker, part-time work, gig. Gig is a great word because a lot of people who are not looking for jobs, they're just looking for extra money, they use that term. So you definitely want to use the terminology that people who are looking for your product use. All right, so I post on Instagram using hashtag market. I do Twitter. And I have a huge training on all of these that get really detailed. But like with Twitter, I use a program called TweetDeck. And it's TWEET Deck, DECK. And if you type that in, it'll take you to like an online page. And essentially, I do a search. And the search may say extra income or extra money. And if you put that in the search, you'll see all the people that tweet about needing extra money. And I just take about 30 minutes in the morning and in the evening, and I just reply to them. It'll just, it's nothing copy and paste. It's just a little reply. What do you need extra money for? How much extra money do you need? You build a conversation with that person, and then you send them the link. Hey, check this out. This is how I earn extra money for purses. This is how I earn extra money for shoes. I earn extra money this way so I don't have to take it out of my household budget. So, I mean, these are type of conversations that I have with them on Instagram and Twitter, and also on Facebook. It works on Facebook, but it's more relevant on Twitter and Instagram because people use hashtags there. And that's how you kind of get the lead. So when I say that I connect and build with at least 10 people per day, that's how I'm getting the 10 people online. Okay. Now, as far as offline is concerned, I take my ad and I print it out. I use, in some instances, I use fluorescent paper, and I'll tell you where I go and get my stuff printed. If I'm using regular paper, I go to FedEx Kinko's. And because I was a Mary Kay girl, they give me like 55% off. So it may cost me like 3 cents to print out my flyer. So I highly recommend that you go to FedEx or Kinko's or whatever it's called there and see what their printing rates are. If you have a printer at home, cool, just go get you some fluorescent paper from Office Depot. I just found it cheaper for me to go to them, and of course less time consuming. So I printed out on fluorescent paper, similar to these colors here, and because those are noticed first, and I put them up. I put them up everywhere. Starbucks, colleges. I live in a town that has 7 colleges here. So I put them up, and I also outsource, and we'll talk about outsourcing in a minute, but I outsource individuals to put up my flyers. And on those flyers, they send an email or they go to a website, which is our website, to review the information. Now, if you're going to send them to the website, you need a lead capture page. You need a page that's going to capture their information so you can follow up with them. Otherwise, you're just going to send them there. If they look at it, don't understand it, whatever, and they click off of it, there's really not a way for you to connect back with that person. So the site that I send them to is going to capture their email or capture their information before it allows them to see anything. Or if they send me an email, then I'll respond to them with the information that I want to provide. So it's kind of like give or get. If they don't want to give me anything, then they don't need to hear what I have to say. Okay, so this is just lead gathering. You should at least have, depending on what your income goals are, you at least need to have about 30 to 40% more leads coming in than what you want to close. But these are just some of the techniques that I use in order to bring in these leads. So I do use the flyers. I just ordered some more. They're like, they call them club flyers, but they're color flyers about this size, like a photo, 4x6. And it actually is a picture of this ad that I just showed you guys. On the front and on the back, it sends them an email. There is a phone number. I do have an 800 number that they can call just to get information, and the website link. So they can actually take that card. I can pass that out. I put them on cards. These are the ones that I actually give to college students to put out for me. They put them up on bulletin boards, all kinds of things. The ones that are color, they do a lot better than black and white. So, but I use those to gather my leads. So usually on an everyday basis, I have about 20, 30, maybe 40 leads coming in, just asking me, what is this about? And then it's all about getting them to the information, closing them. So depending on what your income goals are for the week is how many people you need to talk to on a daily basis. So I do want to kind of pause there and see if we have any questions in regards to offline marketing. Um, right now, I use the flyers, and I use those cards. I used to have drop cards, look like dollar bills. Those were cool. Um, they definitely received attention, but there wasn't a lot of follow through, and it could have been the way that I had them set up because those were something that I used early on. But any questions about the flyers, maybe where to put them? I put them everywhere. I bring those card flyers everywhere. When we go out to eat, it goes along with my tip. Um, you know, I pass them out everywhere. I actually have a button that says I get paid $25 to answer emails. Ask me how. And you just wear that. I wear that at work. So, um, does anyone have any questions about the offline marketing? Now, a lot of times people shy away from offline marketing because they're afraid to talk to people, but it's really just a conversation that you would normally have online. You just kind of have it face to face, and you send them to the website. That's it. When we talk about group meetings, what I do there is when you have the leads in, especially if you're marketing offline, you want those people to meet you. This is really helpful when you're looking for people that are looking for a job. If they're looking for a part-time job or something like that, you definitely want to meet with them. I have a mini interview that I go through with them, and if I feel like they're a good fit, number one, for the program, and also if they're coachable for me to work with, then we'll go over the email information. And to be honest, I really don't even go over what EPS is. I use Michelle's video. So her video is what I actually play from my laptop. And we just kind of crowd around the laptop. I make sure that they can hear it. Her video is very straight to the point. And then I ask them, is this something that you feel like you can do? Whenever someone's making a decision about this particular program, there's 3 questions that they go over. Number one, is this legit? And it's not necessarily the company, is this legit? They're looking at you, right? They're looking at how you present this business. Are you confident? They're evaluating you. Is this the person that can show me to success? Secondly, if that checks, right, they're then looking at, is this something that I can do? Can I fit this into my schedule? That's why I really like the fact that I work full time, because if y'all now knew how much money I make at this job, you wouldn't, okay, how can I say this politely, because some people that I work with may be on this video. I couldn't live where I live and drive what I drive, working where I work, and that's it. Okay? So, especially if they've been to my home, they'll say, how can you afford this? I mean, and I say this as humbly as possible. I say this because what I do part-time essentially pays for everything. The full-time job that I have pays for insurance, and that's like the part-time money, if that makes sense. So you definitely want to make sure that when they're evaluating you, they're trying to see, okay, well, if she's successful at this, can she show me how, right? So they're checking, number one, to see if whether or not this is a legitimate business. Number two, they're checking to see if this is something that they can do. Right? Can I do this? Can I fit this in with everything that I have going on? Is this going to be a huge impact to me financially? Meaning, do they have to pay a whole lot to get started? It's only $25, so there's a check there. And then number 3 is, can I show someone else to do this? Can I do this? And if you can show them how to do it, then they're all in. The problem that people have is they just kind of show them the business, but they don't show them how the business can work for them. And that's why you don't have any signups, That's why someone looks at it and they're like, they went through all this process, but they didn't close. You have to close that person. And that's not something that we can teach you, right? We can show you, but you have to be able to close that person. So essentially, once you get your setup together and you've decided on whatever type of marketing technique that you're going to use, whether that be online, offline, combination of both, then you'll need to figure out what your goal is. And I ask people, how much money do you want to make with this? And I'm very straightforward with it. They'll give me a number, and I say, okay, cool. I want to make sure, number one, that you are making that at your current job. Right, so if you tell me you want to make $5,000 a month at this, and you haven't made $5,000 a month at your full-time job, this is not the opportunity where you're going to make that. Okay. So even when I first started this, I started at a very part-time level. Like all I wanted to make was like $500 a month, because that's what I felt like. Before I started, I didn't know what this would do, so that was what my goal was, and I was able to surpass that. So basically, if you start out with a part-time goal and just divide that by 25, that will show you how many people you need to have in a month's time. Then you decide how much time you can put into that to make that goal. Okay? Don't start off with your time first, because then you're measuring your time by dollars. That's not how you do that. So you start off with your financial goal of how much money you want to make. You divide that by 25, and that's going to tell you how many people or signups you need. Once you have how many you need, then you look at, how do I get to that? How much time do I need to spend? If you're like me and you work 40 hours a week, you don't really have a lot of time. So that's why these group meetings are so important, right? I mark it from Monday to Thursday. And then on Fridays or Saturday, even a Sunday afternoon, is when I make up the rest that I need for that week. So if I have like a group meeting, whether it be an online webinar, something like this, or I'm meeting people at Panera that didn't sign up during the week, right? Let's say they started receiving my emails on Monday, and on Tuesday or Wednesday I don't hear anything from them. Then I'm going to call them. Right? I'm going to call them and say, hey, did you get my email? Were you able to review the information? If they have any sort of pushback, whether they viewed it or not, well, I'm going to actually be in person. I'm going to be here. If you're in my city, most of the time I'm doing stuff locally, right, because I put out the flyers. I'm going to be here, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You'll be able to kind of see the program in action. That usually gets them out, because they are already kind of sold on the money part. They're sold on the 1 and the 2. Remember the 3 questions? So they're sold on those 2. The last one is, can I do this? That's why they're coming out. They want to see if whether or not this is something that they can do. What kind of things do I need? Sometimes people will look at what you bring. Sometimes I only bring my cell phone, right? That's it. Because the website can be built by someone else who has a computer, right? As long as you have PayPal and your PaySpree set up, then everything else can be done by phone. You can market by phone. If Facebook marketing is going to be your primary source, then you have to continue to market, but you can do that strictly from your phone. Instagram, you can do strictly from your phone. You can have your flyers sent from your phone to Kinko's, and they'll print them out for you. So you can work from your phone or your tablet. So I do bring minimal things with me to show people that this can be done that way. And then you want to have a marketing budget. You definitely want to take some of your profit, put it back in there. That's where the cost of printing is going to come from. And if you don't have a lot of time like I don't, then Fiverr is your friend. Fiverr is my secret. I love it. Fiverr is a website, and it's spelled F as in Frank, I-V-E-R-R. And so Fiverr is where you can go and outsource the things that you don't want to do. It costs $5, right? So with Fiverr, you can have people go and put up your flyers. I just had some flyers put up in Texas. Um, the young lady that I use for Craigslist, I don't mess with Craigslist, y'all. I'm lazy. So she does all my Craigslist postings. She does my, I don't use Backpage anymore. Um, so she used my Craigslist, and I've been started marketing on Monster. She actually showed me how to do that. And so anyway, she posts my ads for me. So I send them to her on Sunday night. By Monday morning or Monday afternoon, she's sent me the links to the ads that she's posted for me. And then I start getting calls. So she posts my online ads for me in the advertising sites. So you definitely want to outsource some of the things that you may not have time to do. Fiverr, you can find someone to put up your flyers as well, locally. You can do Craigslist, post in Craigslist on the gig section and say you need some people to put up your flyers. It's called a street team. So, you may pay them $25 for a couple of hours to put up your flyers, and they'll put them up for you. I always have them take a picture and send it to me of places where they've put the flyers up. You don't have to have a huge amount. You want to put it where the traffic is. You don't want to have flyers everywhere. You just want to put these flyers, and this is the time where I use like fluorescent paper, especially if it's a high walking area. So put the flyers up. They take a picture of where they put the flyers up, and I just send it to them via PayPal. So you can always outsource people to do the things for you. And then you just kind of repeat your process on a daily basis. Does anyone have any questions about like your goal setting? I notice a lot of people don't do that as well. Like they just want to make money, but they don't really know how much money they want to make, or they don't have a for sure goal set up, so they don't know if whether or not they're successful or not. If you want to make $100 a day, of course, that's 4 emails that you'll need to process. For me, the way that the site is set up, it has a pretty good return. So for me to have 4, I at least need to have at least 20 people take a look at it. And sometimes my people overlap, right? If I had, okay, like today, I've had, let me see. Today, let's see, this morning, let's see. This morning, I've had 4 emails processed so far. Now, of course, this is the nighttime. I sent out an email this morning or earlier before the hangout. I had 2 people reply to me that they wanted to sign up tonight. So, today, if those 2 people sign up, then I would have had 6. That's $150 today. But you kind of have to be consistent in it, right? And I don't think those 4 people came just for my marketing today. I think maybe some of them may have seen it a couple of days ago, and they just kind of all come up today. So I don't make my goals on a daily basis. I make them by the week, right? So when you start making your goals, you make it, however often you want to get paid.
Hey, Ayanna, real quick.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
One of them is why don't you use Backpage anymore?
I don't use Backpage because, and I'm pretty sure Craigslist has bad things on it, but I don't use Backpage because it, and of course this is my opinion, but I see a lot of things that I just don't associate with on Backpage. There's not really a lot of control on that site, and I don't want my brand associated with anything negative. So I don't use it. Craigslist is, good for me, so that's what I chose to use.
Yeah. Is this really preference?
It is.
I do understand what you're saying about Backpage. from that page myself, of course, that does it. But the leads are more quality from Craigslist also.
Mm.
So, just, oh, find the sales video that Ayanna was talking about earlier in the group and on Michelle's YouTube page.
Hmm. Oh, Michelle's video? Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm. It works perfectly. She's very well spoken. So when she goes over, and I really like the fact that she tells at the end of the video, she says, "Get back with the person who shared this video with you." So anyone can use it, right? So that's why I say when things are duplicatable, um, it's really easy. So like when people sign up with me after you set up your site and you are responding to people who say, "I saw your ad, can you please send me some info?" um, I send them to that page first, to that first. That's in my welcome email, essentially. And then I send them to the sign up page. That saves me from having to go over all of that information. Now, I don't mind answering questions, but most of the questions that I receive come from the FAQ. That just lets me know that either they need further clarification or they didn't even look at the page.
yeah.
Any other
Well,
questions?
let's I'm looking. No, not right now.
Okay. Um, all right, so my last bullet point was like work smarter, not harder. So we talked about Fiverr. I did want to talk a little bit, just touch a little bit about automation. It's really important to me because, I do work full time, and during the day between 9 and 5, I am not able to just respond to emails throughout the day. I try to do as many as I can before work, and on break. So that's why automation is really, really important. And the tool that I use is Aweber. I was using MailChimp, but I didn't realize that their rules doesn't allow you to sell in an email. So I got a little smack on the hand, and I moved over to Aweber. With Aweber, though, I was able to add all of the emails in your booklet. I was able to add those emails um, basically as a drip. So once you come to the website and I have your email address and I've sent you the first email that I would send you, then I can take those emails that are in the booklet and I add them to Aweber, so they'll come to my people like every 2 days or every 3 days until it gets to 5. Like, I don't bombard them. I feel like if you've been looking at this for longer than, I say, a week or two, then you just come to me when you're ready, right? I don't hound people. So Aweber is really convenient because it allows me to just add people to the list. Now, I know you can't really see a lot on my cell phone, but if you watch the video that I put into the group a while back, I showed you how you can actually, and I know you can't see this, but I showed you how you can actually go into Aweber and add people to your list right from your phone. The app that I use is called Aweber Atom, ATOM. So when I see people out, right, if I'm talking with them or they sent me a message on Facebook to say, "Hey, I want to learn about EPS," or "I want to know more about that email processing thing," I say, "Cool, shoot me your email. I'll send you some information." When they send me the email, whether it be on Messenger, then what I do is in the app, I don't know whether or not you can see that, but in the app, it asks for the name and the email address. And all I have to do is copy and paste and put it there, and it will automatically send them the link. Or it automatically send them the email. Um, I use it also when people pay. So, when they go through the paid link, it should automatically take them to the member site. If it doesn't, I still send them a welcome email to the team, essentially. And so when PayPal sends me a link to say so-and-so has paid you, I just copy their email address from PayPal and plug it into my list. And it automatically sends them their next steps. That keeps me from, well, number one, it allows me to follow up with them very quickly, from no matter where I'm at, right? So I just plug their name into the list under paid, and they get the information. They can start off running. I had someone to sign up, and she had made her first money in 15 minutes. And I love telling her story because what she did was she had been researching. I came about this lady from a YouTube video. I don't even remember the YouTube video that she watched, but she sent me a message and said, I'm interested. I'd like to get started. I said, okay, cool. So I sent her the link, and she signed up fairly quickly. And so when I sent her the link, she signed up and everything, and I sent her the welcome email. 15 minutes later, I got an email, and she was like, I already signed up 2 people. I'm like, dang, really? How? But what she did was she didn't worry about how the site looked or anything like that. What she did was she used my video, and once she signed up for the link, it automatically gave her her paid links. She sent them there. See, some people don't have to wait. And a lot of my people are not online. They're not on Facebook. So, there's really not a help group for them. I'm kind of working on something like that. But a lot of times, like when we have a group meeting and they walk away from a session with a flyer that's already pre-made, then they can go out and sell, right? They can go out and sell. They just need to make sure that if they've gotten paid, that they set them up in the system. So it's something that you can implement immediately. So I love sharing her story. I'm pretty sure she shares it way better than I do. But there are people out here that are ready, they're ready to get started. And it's all about who you attract. I'm the type of person where I make quick decisions, right? I don't mull over a decision for weeks, because that's what you'll attract. I have someone right now that has been saying they're going to be signing up for like 3 weeks now. And I just say, okay, great. Whenever the time hits them, that's going to be when they're ready. But also know that you're going to attract the same type of person. So if your leads are out there and you're pushing and pushing and pushing, but it took you a long time to sign up, just understand those people are going to be following you, and those are going to be the people that you attract, and they're going to do the same thing. So you definitely want to attract people who see the value in something, they can see what the potential is, and then they make a quick decision. Let's see. Now, I did kind of highlight some of the questions this week. I'm in and out of the group. Sometimes I can't really post in the middle of the day. But one of the questions that someone asked earlier this week was how to use your link on Facebook. And that is a very important question to make sure that you have the answer to. Of course, because EPS is an affiliate link, right? It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. Some of the advantages is the fact that with an affiliate link, the hosting is free, right? The site basically takes care of the cost of the hosting, and so with that, they provide us with a generic link. Now, the problem with that is when you have a lot of people that are using the same domain name, it's just the end part is different, then Facebook and Instagram and sites like that will notice that a lot of people are posting essentially to them it's the same link, it's the same domain. So they're going to continue to post, 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 and that's how your link gets blocked. Have you ever started posting an affiliate link and you are not able to send a message because they feel like it's spam or something like that? So the way to get around that is either you need to have your own domain or you need to cloak your link. And you can do this either by self-hosting your site and using a tool called PrettyLink. So PrettyLink is something where you own your domain, like me, Ayanna-Cross.com, and you slash, and you can put like Ayanna-Cross.com/EPS. It'll automatically take you to my EPS page, and I always use my domain. It's something that I can always remember, and it brands me. Okay, so you can do that. If you don't want to pay for that, you don't want to self-host or anything like that, then you can cloak your link by using tools like Bitly, bit.ly, or Google is goog.le. If you go to those websites, it will allow you to take your long link, plug it in to the site, and then rename the link. So like Bitly. If you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/EPS reps, that goes to my site, right? So this is something that I can always remember. I can post it anywhere because it's not being blocked, and you can always change that. Okay, Michelle. So you can always change that. So you can always post anywhere. So if you don't want to pay to privatize your link, then you can use a site like Bitly or Google. But you definitely want to do something that you can always remember and you can brand. And then the other option, of course, is to set up a domain. And you want to forward your link to that domain. You can purchase your domain. I always use GoDaddy. I think their domains are like 99 cents when they're having a special for the first year, and then it goes to like $14.99 or something like that. The purpose of having your own domain is helps with branding. You can put those on flyers, car magnets, business cards, all kinds of stuff, because you own that domain. So that's a way that you share your link on Facebook. Now, I don't send people to my link on Facebook. If you guys have actually read some of my comments, I ask them for their email address. I don't send them the link. All right, unless you're going to send them to a link that's going to capture their information first, don't just send them your link. You need to capture the information from them, whether it be their email address or whatever. And it's email processing for a reason, y'all. Ask for their email address. You do everything via email. Facebook does not need to be in your business. They don't need to put you in Facebook jail, anything like that. Ask them for their email address and you market to them offline. Another question that I normally get is, how do I get started? Like, people just don't know how to start, you know. We can give you all the information in the world. They'll have all the information, and they just don't know what to do at that point, right? The problem with people not being able to get started, it stems from a reason, whether that be fear, a lack of knowledge, the ability to follow directions, are they not coachable? You know, everyone has a trait that can hold them back. When I first started, and this is just a transparent moment, y'all. When I first started, I really had a problem taking advice or direction from someone who was not successful. I just felt like, how are you telling me what to do and you're not doing it, right? So, and if you guys haven't noticed yet, I have an A-type personality. I'm a leader, right? And, you know, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing at times, but I'm just, you know, I'm confident, you know, I'm confident in my abilities. I always strive to be the best or better than I was yesterday, right? And I've been in this industry for 6 years. I was the top, then I plummeted, you know. One of my companies that I was with just went off the face of the earth one day, and we were no longer receiving checks. So, you know, I've been at the top, been at the bottom. But what I learned is that I don't know everything, right? And I'll give you a really real live example. My boyfriend just entered this arena, he's new to this industry, and he's on every training that he can get his hands on. He's not in this business, he's in something else, but he's in learning mode. Um, and I like this because the fact that he's in learning mode, I can always learn from him. He's always telling me about something he's learned, something that he's trained on. However, the thing about that is when you're in learning mode, you are not in earning mode. Okay? You have to find the balance between learning and earning. Now, the cool thing about this is the fact that there's a very low entry point, so you can learn while you earn. And the key to that is implementation. So when someone shares with you or you learn something, in order to get the benefit of it, you have to implement it. You have to take what you learn and start. And if you don't do that, then you'll never start. You'll just have a wealth of knowledge up here and no money. So you have to implement what you learn, whether it be one thing. If you take one thing away from me tonight, it would be to implement the things that we went over. Okay? Another thing about getting started is you have to choose which advertising method you're going to try and learn it and master it. And you need to start it within the first couple of days of getting started. Procrastination is the killer of success. Like, you cannot do anything if you keep putting it off. And procrastination will keep you from doing the simplest things, like sending an email. Something that will take you like 2 or 3 minutes to do if you actually sit down and do it. But if you put it off, you'll never get it done. And the time that you waste is time that is going to be here anyway, right? So you might as well take advantage of it. Putting up ads. People procrastinate about putting up ads. It's something that you can do while having your coffee in the morning, or do it before you go to bed and you wake up to emails, or you do it before you go to work and then you come home and you check your email, or you check your email on break, then you have something to email back. You see what I'm saying? So it's something you have to always be consistent in doing. And if you don't want to do it or you don't have time to do it, then you need to outsource someone to do it. It's either do we have the time or do we think our time is valuable? Sometimes I don't think my time is valuable for me to sit here and fumble with Craigslist, or for me to put an ad on Craigslist is taken down, 2 hours later, right? I don't have the time to deal with that. So I send it to my girl Sonia, and she will put it up. If it goes down, she put up another one, right? She manages Craigslist for me. And she'll send me a great little email to tell me the ad she put up, the links, what day she put it up, if it's still active or not. Right? She's managing that for me. And she'll go to a different city each week. So each week, hopefully, I get to talk to a person in a different city. So she manages that for me. Okay? So procrastination. And then lastly, ask for help. There's no need in sitting in front of your computer frustrated with yourself and then quitting. Oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. It didn't work. Okay. Well, what didn't work? Tell me your process so that I can evaluate your process and see where we can find some tweaks. Oh, I put some stuff up in Facebook groups. That it? Like, Facebook is really not the only way to market. And I talk to my people just like that, right? So, I want, if you're going to tell me that you quit and that it didn't work, then you also have to tell me why it didn't work. Because it works for me. It works for DeAnte. It works for Michelle. It works for the other people that are in the group. Why is it not working for you? Now, if you can sit there and tell me that you did everything that I'm doing or that I've told you to do and it's still not work, then sure. Okay, then you've exhausted everything and maybe this just isn't the right fit. But you can't say it doesn't work if you haven't tried. Okay, so if you are frustrated or you just mad or you haven't put in the work, then today's the day to just kind of say, okay, I start over tomorrow. I'm gonna set up a goal. I'm going to set up a time frame that I need to work with. I'm going to get organized. I'm going to consistently put up the ads. I'm going to look on Fiverr to see who I can find to put up my ads for me, since I'm going to be, at work. It's soccer season, and I don't, I'm ripping and running, so I don't have the time anymore. I'm gonna do that, right? You need to start setting that up now. And of course, that's what your mentor is for. Now, I had someone tell me, we don't get paid residually, so I don't feel like I gotta help anyone. I said, okay. The thing about this particular program is this: we may not get paid residually, but you're gonna get paid in other ways. I do a lot of other things other than email processing. So if I can show someone how to reach a monetary goal in EPS, whether it be $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, if I can show them how to do that and they do it, please believe they're trying to find whatever else I got going on to increase your income. They'll trust me with the little before they trust me with the lot. Isn't that what the Bible says? So if I can show you how to make your money back, or make your $25 here, there, or whatever your goal is, then yes, you're going to trust me with other things. And that's where your residual income and all that other stuff comes into play. All right. So with that being said, those are some of the questions that I went through the group, and I saw that, people were having questions on. So if you have any additional questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I know I went long, but I feel like I went over information that people actually want to know.
Yeah, it was good stuff. You took them to church, girl.
Okay.
I was about to say hallelujah. Man, listen, you guys need help. That's what we're here for. That's why we have the group. Ask us questions. Yo, you had some gold nuggets in there. I had to write some stuff down. I got notes going on here.
Good.
I'm coming back tomorrow to watch it.
Good.
You guys, the main message is take massive action. All right. The replays will be in the group, so it'll be on YouTube. Come back, take notes. But there comes a point where the money isn't going to come unless you take action. All right. Mm-hmm. Man, that's some good stuff. All right, guys, look, I'm not gonna hold you up any longer. Questions? Do we have any?
I haven't been on Facebook. I know my people are posting about Empire, so I didn't want to look at that. But I wanted to check real quick before to see if there are any questions in the group.
I think we might be good. So we have a lot of good stuff in there.
Someone messaged me and asked me why I don't add my people to the group. And I do. I'll tell you this. I do add them to the group. But because when you do a lot of offline marketing, a lot of times people do not want to, they don't want to put this particular business on their main Facebook page. Now, the reason for that is they don't really understand the concept of marketing at a high level just yet, right? So they're very new to this, so they want to keep things secret, and I get that. So for people that don't, that come to me on an offline level and they really just gonna market offline or via email or something like that, then, of course they don't come into the group. You do have to have some sort of training space for them. So what I do is I send out an email on a weekly basis, and sometimes I take some of the screenshots from our group and add them into our email, just so people can also see that, you're not the only person with this question. But you definitely want to stay in contact with your team, right? So, someone asked me, how come I don't, add people to the group? And I do. I give them the option. I say, this is our Facebook group. I give them the link, and if they want to be added to it, then they can add themselves. Okay?
Yeah. Another point with that is that when you guys or when you have your people, not you, and I'm talking for everyone,
Hmm.
and you want to get them in the group, make sure you add them to the group and tag them. Because
Yep.
if you don't tag them, we don't approve them. Okay?
Right.
There's a long process. You have to ask them where they came from, who signed them up. All right. On the other side of that, I only bring in one out of every five of my people in the group.
Hmm.
Because some of them are older, they don't
Hmm.
have Facebook, you
Hmm.
know. Some of them I met on Craigslist,
Yep.
they don't want to go online, they want something simple, pass out some flyers, all right.
There you
Um,
go.
I started out passing flyers out, so I know this is a company, and we do this for businesses. So I know if you put this stuff in action, you pass out your flyers, you help your people get started, right? And you help them make money, they're gonna follow you wherever you go,
That's
okay?
right.
Because now you earn their trust, right? And they know that you know what you're doing. So just because you don't get paid residually, trust me, your team could bring you thousands of
Yes.
dollars
Yeah.
and not with my process.
Yep.
All right. Um, so I think we're good for tonight.
Good.
We're definitely gonna have you back on in the future because you have a lot of knowledge, and people don't want to hear from me and Michelle all the time,
Right.
So we'll definitely have you back on. I want to thank you for your time, for giving us this free information, and I'll definitely see you in the.
All
See you
right.
guys later.
All right. Thanks, guys, for having me. Have a good night.